We are chatting with ESPN NFL analyst Mina Kimes. You can catch her on the recently relaunched NFL Live Daily on ESPN. Mina, thanks so much for taking some time to chat with us. I could see in your background the Seahawks helmet. So any Super Bowl 48 mention, the internet might go out or something.
I know. I was just thinking that. Don't want to lift my right arm too much.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh.
Sorry.
Well, let's talk a little bit of Broncos here. The season opener, just about less than 2 weeks away now. Being in the AFC West, what do you think are some realistic expectations for this team?
I think the AFC West is a really interesting division because I think there's a clear favorite. And I think the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL, so I'll put that out there first. But I actually think beyond that, all three of the other teams are wild card contenders, especially with the expanded playoffs. And I look at this Broncos team, and I can absolutely see a scenario in which they get in. I think the coaching staff is superlative. I will always place faith in a Vic Fangio defense, but I think they've got a lot of talent coming back from injury, and also with some of the additions they made on that side of the football, and a young quarterback in Drew Lock, who they have surrounded with weapons. I think he, at this point, might be in one of the best situations of any young quarterback in the league. They really are giving him all the tools he needs to succeed. So if he can play to the level we saw a glimpse of last year, admittedly against some lackluster defenses, then I think this team has a real shot.
I know that you tweeted a while back that you went back and looked at those 5 games he started last year. What did you see on the tape from him?
Well, the first one I watched was the Texans game, which I got to say, I don't think I learned a lot about Drew Lock. I learned a lot about the Texans defense in that game. I will say, though, I was very impressed by Noah Fant, who was a bit underwhelming at the beginning of the season, when he started playing, which is not uncommon with rookie tight ends. It's a difficult position to pick up. That's why we see a big leap often in year 2. And I was really blown away by what I saw from him down the stretch, and I think it's really exciting for Denver. But in the Lions game, I think I learned a little bit more. With Locke, we know how great his arm is, knew that coming out of college. His athleticism was, I think, underrated in the draft as a topic of discussion. You saw that on display a little bit. But I also saw some pretty, I would say, better decision-making that I might have anticipated, which was sort of the ding on him coming out of the draft. He wasn't asked to go past his first read very often, go through his progressions, and certainly wasn't asked to throw downfield a lot. But you saw a level of general competence, I think, that you really want to see from a quarterback that young, combined with a physical tool set that we know is impressive. And so as a Denver fan, I would be encouraged by what we saw.
Yeah, it seems like they're building around him, added a lot of offensive weapons this offseason. Yeah. Speaking of your Twitter account, you said that you're a hater of the goal line fade, but what if you got a guy like Courtney Sutton?
I don't care who you have, man. I really don't. And I love Courtney Sutton. Man, he is a true, to have Courtney Sutton and Jerry Jeudy in the same offense is insane. I just think in terms of complementary skill sets, and they throw in Hamler as well and Fant. He's a true number one. You got that big body outside threat that you do associate with the goal line fade. The problem is, even when you have that guy, it's still not an efficient play. Okay, throw it a corner side, just do something different. How about a simple out route? A whip, or I don't know. Use him, but not on that play.
Got it. Okay. Speaking of Jerry Jeudy, what do you think his chances are of winning Offensive Rookie of the Year?
I think they're solid. Unfortunately, I think he's got a little bit of target competition with that aforementioned stacked skill group, and sometimes it's not about who's the actual best player so much as it is a matter of opportunity. This is a very good receiver class, and I think the competition he has, CeeDee Lamb in Dallas, is also phenomenal. Ruggs in Vegas, still getting used to saying Vegas, are also in pretty good situations. I would say Jeudy was my favorite. I'll start there, coming out of the class. And for him to fall into Elway's lap there, I think was a huge coup for Denver. But that award can be hard to predict because it's so contingent on just how things unfold over the course of the season.
Yeah, a lot of competition. I know that the hype machine is going full and well here in Denver around Jerry Jeudy. So on the other side of the ball, Von Miller is heading into his 10th season. I know ESPN.com just put out a list of the top 100 players in the NFL. I think he came in at 46. What do you think he can do this season?
I'm guessing that's lower than he's come in a long time.
I think he was top 10 last year.
Having the list in front of me. And, it was a down year for Von, undeniably. But his body of work speaks for itself. And also he plays a position where I don't think the aging curve necessarily hits players the same way. I would not bet against a bounce back season, especially when he has the benefit of having Chubb actually lined up across from him and he's not getting double teamed. Man, I love Von Miller. That was one of I did a feature on him for ESPN the magazine the summer after he won the Super Bowl. When he signed his extension, we went fishing. I don't think he caught any fish, but I was so blown away by his just positive demeanor, his attention to craft, the pass rush camp everyone knows about. And he just has all the attributes I think you see in Hall of Fame players. So if I was a big guy to bounce back, I would definitely ride with Von.
Yeah, he's definitely got the personality, a fun guy, and hoping for him to bounce back this year. Just a couple more for you here, Mina. I know that you're really into watercolors. What Broncos player or coach would make for the most interesting painting?
Ooh, thinking through all the different Broncos. I mean, Von's always great with the glasses. Locke doing just dancing on the sideline. Who could forget that iconic moment? Kind of hard to capture in a watercolor, maybe. I'll go Phil Lindsay. He's got a great head of hair on him, and that would be fun to paint. Very underrated player, too.
Oh, yeah. We love his hair here. Definitely a sense of pizzazz with Philip Lindsay. Okay, are you up for some lighthearted, rapid-fire questions here?
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. First one is, will the Broncos win both games against the Chiefs this season or also beat them a third time in the playoffs?
Unfortunately, I do not think the Broncos are going to beat the Chiefs, but sorry. It's because I think the Chiefs are so good. It's not a referendum on the Broncos.
Yeah, the Chiefs, some stiff competition. We saw they got their rings the other night. Okay, is Drew Lock a great quarterback or the greatest quarterback, just too young to prove it?
I'm going to go with too young to prove it and leave the other stuff out. I think he's promising. Can I say that? Promising, Denver fans.
Okay.
Slower roll. You got a much harder slate of pass defenses this year facing.
Yeah. A tough schedule for the Broncos this season.
Okay, the last one is a lot of people compare Patrick Mahomes to John Elway. What's wrong with them?
The comparison. Oh man, you're setting me up because I want to pander to Broncos fans, but you're setting me up to do the opposite. They are both very good quarterbacks. I'm just going to leave it at that.
We heard John very complimentary of Patrick Mahomes, and with that new deal, I think the Broncos are going to have to deal with him for a long time. So
sadly, but you know what? In a few years, they're going to have a hard time paying other players. So you can take some comfort.
Or maybe not. After this offseason, I don't know.
Yeah, who the heck knows how things shake out.
Mina, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Good luck this season, the rest of the way.
Good luck to y'all.